Om Sahna Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamaya Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, salutations to all. So, in this fifth canto, we saw the life of the great king Bharat, after whom our country is named Bharat. So, he ruled gloriously. He was a very spiritual person, ruled in a very dharmic way. And it is said many million years he ruled. And finally, he handed over the kingdom to his children and he renounced the world. There also we saw that he was very devoted. He used to perform Surya Upasana. And we saw that at one point in time, when he was standing in the river Gandaki, he is worshipping Surya Bhagavan. At that time, there's a deer which was scared by the roar of a lion, and the deer leapt across the river. In that fear, in that anxiety, and that extra strain of that leaping, the deer, which was pregnant, gave birth to a fawn. And that fawn fell into the water. The deer went across, but out of that stress and fear, etc., the deer died. Now, Bharat Raja, he feels that this fawn, there is nobody to save, nobody to help it, nobody to take care of it. So he takes the fawn out of the water, which is fine, which anybody could have done, should have done. And he should have left the fawn to its own karma and prarabdha. It would have taken care. Bhagavan only takes care actually. We think that we are protecting people, we are taking care of people. That is, as a duty, what we need to do, we can do. But there also we should know it is Bhagavan only who is really the protector. We are not protecting anybody actually. We ourselves are vulnerable. How can we protect somebody? Of course, that doesn't mean that we don't take care of people who are there with us. As a duty, as we said, we do. But the bhav has to be Bhagavan is the real protector, not us. So that feeling came into him that he is the protector now. That is the abhiman. That's the false identification. Now somebody argues that it is the prarabdha of that deer to be taken care of by this king who has now renounced. So Bharat Muni he is now. So it is from that standpoint, in hindsight, when we look at it, then we say it is the prarabdha of Bharat Muni also and the deer also, the fawn, that they had to come together. But at that point in time, when Bharat Muni is making the choice, he doesn't know that is a prarabdha of the fawn. He had a choice. Save that fawn, leave it on its prarabdha. As though that fawn will not be able to handle it. Bhagavan is there and karma is there, prarabdha of that fawn is there. But that's where the false identification comes. So he picks it up, he starts bringing it up. Now, one point to understand there also is, this is called Purvachiti. Earlier Canto, this Apsara Purvachiti, we saw about her. And that time we saw Purvachiti is Purva Samskar. So there it is personified as an Apsara and all that. But here you see, this Purvachiti is past samskar. Now he has brought up children, he has had that samskar, and he has that affection and the fatherly figure he was to so many children, plus for the praja also. Now he has been a king, taking care of his praja for so many years. That samskara is there. One may renounce the world, one may renounce the the formal household life, but that samskar which is there, real renunciation is of that. The identity of a grahasthi, the identity of being protective, all those things that one has done earlier, that complete identity has to be dropped, and even then one has to be so alert, because the past samskar can manifest anytime. Now that is what happened. He has been having that samskar, that practice continuously he has been doing. So though he renounced all that and he came to the forest, and yes, there he was living in solitude, doing his sadhana on the banks of Gandaki river in that Pulaha ashram. Somewhere that samskar came when he saw that deer. Now he brings up. So all his samskar that he had as a parent, all that has come back. Now he gets attached also. All that we saw. I'm revisiting this because there are some reflections that one can do, that how Purva Janma Samskar, or in this Janma itself, the Purva Samskar is very, very powerful. So one should not take the mind for granted. One may have left externally, but internally those tendencies still remain, and that is what creates the further bondage. So when he gets attached there, see, he left his family, his children, his spouse, everyone, and he came. He did not escape as a, he did not renounce as an escapist. He had vairagya, so he left. How much the mind has to be alert that the mind continues to remain in that state of vairagya. How will one continue to remain in the state of vairagya? Continuous vivek has to be done. Atma, anatma vivek has to be done continuously. What is temporary, what is permanent, that vivek has to be done. Nitya, nitya vivek has to be done. Again and again and again. See, without vivek, this moha will not go. So in Tulsi Ramayana, there is a beautiful chaupai which Tulsidas ji writes. Without satsang, vivek does not come, and without vivek, moha will not go. Tehi binu mohana bhag. Moha gaye binu Rama kripa, moha gaye binu Rama pada hoina dridha anurag. And without that moha getting destroyed, devotion to the Lord, firm devotion for the lotus feet of the Lord does not happen. So, if vivek has to be done continuously, then moha will not come. If little bit vivek goes down, moha enters. That's what happened here. Purva Janma Samskar, then he sees the fawn in the water, he feels compelled to help, which is all natural, help. But there, that vivek goes. Because Karta Bhav came, Bhokta Bhav came, I am the protector, nobody is there for it, who will take care of it? A whole world, Bhagwan only takes care. And it is not even his bounden duty. Please remember that. If somebody is a grahasthi, it is a bounden duty. Okay, I have a family, I must take care. Small children are there, or whatever, siblings are there, whatever is there. That's a duty. Their bounden duty is there that one has taken up. Here there is no bounden duty. He has renounced the world. He can help it out and leave. Now somebody says, no, no, how can one live like that? He should have brought it. He brought it up. It was good only. He should have just not been attached. Now we can easily say he should not have been attached, but that association brings about that attachment. Why did he renounce otherwise? He could have stayed at home and he could have continued to do his sadhana there. He renounced because continuous association as it happens, then there is no scope for the mind to leave that samskar. That's the reason why literally one has to renounce. In simpler words, what people say, out of sight, out of mind. Continuously we keep associating, how there will be that intensity for seeking the truth. The mind will be absorbed in doing the activities in the family, in the duties, in the world, etc. So at some point when one wants that, one has that vairagya, one has seen, one has been there, done that, all that, one leaves. Actually, literally one goes away. Now he left all that literally, and now here he is not able to live one dear. See the way the mind plays the trick. When opportunity, see, when there are lots of when one is in the world, when there is family, when there are enjoyments, and when there is whatever social circle, all those things are there. There, no doubt, mind is attached, and one has to withdraw, learn to be more detached while engaging, etc. When one renounces, the intensity of seeking becomes very strong. Also, the chances are that one may get attached to anything apparently insignificant also, and that intensity also will be strong. That is the way the mind plays the trick. And one may wonder sometimes, this Raja, he left everything and he got attached to a fawn. How is that possible? That is where the moha comes and delusion comes, and it plays on the mind of the person. Even a great spiritual person like him, if that person falls, because still the firm abidance in the Supreme has not happened, mind has to be very alert. And there he allowed that protectiveness, that attitude that I must protect this fawn to grow. Did it happen overnight? That's another point to learn. Did he get attached to the fawn overnight? No. Thought by thought, transaction by transaction, every time he is dealing with that fawn, he is making it grow, he is giving it, feeding it, playing with it, fondling it, all that. His attachment is growing step by step by step. It grows. It doesn't suddenly grow, suddenly manifest. When Viveka has gone down a little bit, Moha enters and slowly it will start. And it is not that the choice is not there. Every minute the choice is there to leave it. One part of the mind of a seeker also will keep telling the seeker, don't do this. Why are you getting into this? If not while doing it, after doing it, when the person is doing sadhana, it will remind, why are you doing this? But if the seeker doesn't have that willpower and clarity, one will justify it in some way. Without me, who will take care of it? This has to be done. I'm not getting attached to it. I'm just doing it out of the sense of goodness and selflessness. No, justification will happen. If one is really honest, one will know I am getting attached here, I am deriving a pleasure here, and I want more of this. And now the mind is stuck. If that utter honesty is there, one will know, one will accept it, and one will try to come out of it. But if that honesty is not there, justifications are there, it will go deep. Then that mind will go on delving more deeper and deeper into it. One will get bound. That is what happened to him. So, this Bharat Raja, Bharat Muni, he got very attached. Now that fawn went away one time, now he became very disturbed that why has it gone away, and he started doubting himself also. In between, even before this, he left his sadhana, and even while he's doing his sadhana, every few minutes he will get up and he will see where is the fawn, and then he will feel happy with it. Now this Bharat Muni has got fully attached. That's what it shows. That how it may even begin sometimes with Loka Kalyan Bhavana, but if we are not alert, it will take us away from Bhagavan. Seva as a means to purify the mind is no doubt important, but that seva, if it takes me away from Bhagavat Smriti, takes me away from my sadhana of remembrance of the Lord exclusively, that seva, there is some attachment. We have to become careful, alert in that. Seva is to purify the mind so that I can remember Bhagavan more intensely, single pointedly, with great devotion and vairagya. If that seva is making me leave name of Bhagavan, or that seva is done in such a way that while remembering Bhagavan, my mind is more and more anxious about that seva, that means there is some attachment in that seva. Again, many times we feel that if we don't do, who will do? As though the organization depends on us. Nothing depends on us. We do our seva with great humility, no doubt. We should do that seva and to purify the mind and do whatever opportunities of seva are there, use that and serve, but not putting aside the remembrance of Bhagavan, not having the attitude that without me this will not happen, so I have to do it. All that is a delusion in our mind only. Without us also the organization will go on, and it is his organization, Bhagavan's organization, is not ours. Same thing applies to family, same thing applies to any other company, country, anything. Bhagavan's Srishti it is. Bhagavan will take care of it. Who are we? Unnecessary vanity we have that without us this will not happen. Unnecessary vanity we have that it may happen, but it won't happen as good as it can happen when I am there. All that is vanity. It can happen much better than what we are doing. That possibility is always there. Why should one have that false ego that without me it will not happen, without me it will not happen in this way? And there are people in the world also who will make us feel like that. One has to be very alert. So they will say all that. But the fact is, they may say out of their love for us, but one should not accept that and allow that to go in the mind and then build upon it. No. So many people tell us also that for us, Gurudev is speaking through you. Nothing. Gurudev will speak to you directly. He speaks to you directly in your heart. Who are we? But they will connect like that. Gurudev will, you build a direct connection with him. That is what has to be done. Each seeker has to build a direct connection with the Lord, with the Guru. No need to bring anybody else in between. For what? But people will bring unnecessary. Build directly. We are also seekers building directly relationship with Bhagavan, with Gurudev. You also build. That's all has to be done. Unnecessary, otherwise we think these are my devotees, these are my students, these are my disciples. Nothing. We are seekers of Gurudev, seekers of truth. Gurudev is our Guru. Bhagavan is there to guide us. Bas, keep walking. No need to have all delusions in the head. Because that is what leads to this downfall. Here he got attached to the deer and then he became a deer in the next Janma. See, he because he has done so much of sadhana, even after him remembering Bhagavan's name fully, his life he has remembered Bhagavan. Last few months of his life, Bhagavad Smriti did not come. Now you think about that. How much powerful an attachment can be? This episode has a lot of impact. If we reflect more and more about on it, that it apparently is a seemingly harmless attachment where who is that deer? You think about it. What has that deer got to do anything with this Bharat Muni? Bhagavatam here says it's some his past janma, some prarabdha karma only, which has come in the form of a deer. That is where, as I said, is in the hindsight. But his wife, children, kingdom, everything where there is apparently a direct bond and connection, etc., that he severed and he came. Doing intense sadhana on the banks of that Gandaki river. From where the deer has come, what is his connection with that deer? And how much protective he is feeling about it, and how much he got involved in that, and sadhana is left aside, bhajan bhakti left aside. Even if he's doing that, his mind keeps going to the deer again and again. Now imagine, this is called yoga bhrashta. Bhrashta means fallen from the path of yoga. Fallen yogi, that's the word in English people use, fallen yogi. Now just think, there are two types of students of Vedanta also. One is called Krita Upasak, other is called Akrita Upasak. So Krita Upasak means somebody who has done Upasana. And now that person's mind is purified, that person has built a relationship with Bhagavan, and now that person is walking the path of Vedanta, studying under a teacher, let us say, and listening, reflecting, contemplating, all that. Krita Upasak. And then second is called Akrita Upasak, who has not done only Upasana, but has come to Vedanta. Chances of the Maya affecting the Akrita Upasak are much more. Because Upasana is not there, form devotion is not there, Jiva Bhav is still very strong, easily that attachments will rise, Maya will bring certain circumstances, situations, people, objects, and that seeker's fall will happen. Here, Bharat Muni is a Krita Upasak. He has done Upasana, he has done Surya Upasana, he has done Ishtadevata Upasana, he is continuously doing that, he has formally renounced the world. Even to him, this Maya has come in this form of the deer, which is his own prarabdha karma of the past. Some Jiva, some connection he must be having now that her Jiva has come in this form. Viveka is to think this, that who is this Jiva? From where this has come? Why am I so attached to it? If one asks those fundamental questions and then thinks about it, one does not have to feel guilty that, array, this Jiva, who will take care of it? Now, if suppose some lion or tiger attacks the deer, now I am responsible. If I had taken care of it, it would not have died like this. Is that not delusion to think like that? Birth and death and all the things in life, they happen based on the past karma only. If that deer is supposed to die because of an attack from a lion, let us say, even if this Bharat Muni is bringing it up, the deer would still die out of an attack of a lion only. Then Bharat Muni will still feel bad or not? Whether he abandons it or he doesn't abandon it, if that deer has to die by that attack of a lion, it will die by like that only. So, especially in this situation where there is no bound and obligatory duty there. Swamiji, how is it not an obligatory duty? Are there are so many creatures in the forest. What, Bharat Muni is taking care of all the creatures or what? Think about that. This happened right in front of him. He saved the fawn and he brought it onto the shores, and then he could have left it. Or he could have made, let us say, in the beginning the fawn can't even stand properly, so maybe take care of it for some 4-5 days, 1 week, then leave it in the forest. Interesting thing is, as the fawn became a deer and it grew, one day the deer disappeared or not? The deer had that tendency, right? It went. Now this Bharat Muni is having pangs of separation. Think that deer followed its natural tendency, it went into the forest. Though the deer has been brought up so well by this Bharat Muni, the deer did not think that I should not abandon him and go. Now somebody says, but that is a deer, it's an animal. Here is a human and he's such an evolved seeker and he has compassion in his heart. Compassion in the heart is one aspect. Misplaced compassion and having that false sense of ownership is another aspect completely. Did Bhagavan tell Arjuna or not that even if you don't kill these people, they are anyway going to die? Bhagavan told him in the 11th chapter that Maya eva nihata purvam eva, that I have killed them. Rite pitvam na bhavanti sarve. Even without you, these people will not live. Now, what vanity do you have that you are going to kill them, and if you don't go, if you don't fight the war and you go away, they will escape? That is not going to happen. He said, I already killed them. So Bhagavan said, you just be an instrument. Just do your duty. Nimitta matram bhava. So same thing, Bharat Raja, Bharat Muni, he thought that he is going to protect. How many animals are there like that in that forest? Even if that mother was there, are there not animals whose mothers are there and yet their young ones are in front of the mother taken away by the tiger, by the lion? That's the law of the jungle. That's the way the karma also works. That's the way Prakriti works. And it is not that Bharat Muni doesn't know any of this. The point is, he knows, he's a king. He has ruled for how many years, what experience he has. Still that moha will come. That is where the challenge is. How much alertness is required on spiritual path? We think about it. Where are we alert? Where is the level of alertness that Bharat Raja, Bharat Muni himself, after having so much of experience and vairagya and all that, still that Maya attacks him. He is a Krita Upasak. Many of us are not even Krita Upasaks. We are Akrita Upasak. Upasana only we don't do regularly. Here his mind is thinking about Bhagavan so much. Even then he got distracted. Then if we have not done Upasana, then what will be our condition? So, pangs of separation he is going through, and now at one point the deer came back. He is thinking of the deer. Now time does not come looking at the person and whether he has finished his duties, whether all his projects, work, everything is complete or not. It just comes when the time has to come, one has to depart. Unfinished, many things will be there. One has to just go. And that's how happened. He did not realize the truth. What is his unfinished work? He has to realize the truth. He didn't realize the truth. Before that, his body dropped. Yamraj is not waiting. Death is not waiting. Okay, now you finish this project, you finish the wedding of your son or grandson, or you complete this particular contract. Nothing. It just comes. It does not see age, health, relationships, nothing. It just comes. When karma is over, body has to drop, it will just go. So what to do? Keep remembering Bhagavan throughout. Rest of the things are incidental. But because of those things, we forget Bhagavan. That is why we go round and round in the cycle of birth and death. And now you see at the last minute when he is dying, he doesn't remember Bhagavan. Even after being a Krita Upasak, if his mind is not able to remember Bhagavan, and the attachment is so powerful, that's what it shows. That how in a few days and months, that mind was so attached to that deer that it left all the samskars of the sadhak for that time. The deer died near him. He also died, but his mind was on the deer full time. Both of them died. That's what that last chapter concluded. Both of them died. In that, the mind of Bharat Muni was on the deer. The deer has come back also. But he was going through pangs of separation. Now the deer has come back. So more intensity is there not to remember that deer. Because he was having pangs of separation. Now he's so much more happy. And he is not dying thinking, now let the deer be there. Now I've taken care, I've done my duty. The deer will live by itself. Nothing. He died remembering the deer. Which means what? That thought which was there earlier, that who is there to take care of it? There is nobody here. The fawn is so helpless. Let me take care of it. Let me protect it. That protectiveness continued through his life. Now it has become big. That fawn has grown into a proper deer. It went away also alone, came back also alone. Still his attachment doesn't go. Still he doesn't think now it is independent. It can go and come. Now my job is done. How many times we are like that? Our mind doesn't leave the attachment. Children have grown up. But parenting doesn't stop from the parents. Earlier also I must have said this. Children grow out of their childhood, but parents don't grow out of their parenthood. It continues. Company we would have brought up from the beginning, let's say from the start when I started it. Now it has grown nicely. Now the child is handling that company. Still the parent will feel that my company, he is immature. He may take a wrong decision. Leave it to their prarabdha. Gurudev, when he was asked what will happen to Chinmay mission after you, what a reply he gave. He said, he who is taking care of it now will take care of it even after me. That is detachment. No attachment at all. And then he said, even while I am here, if it has to fall, I will stand apart and clap. That is his detachment. But Bharat Muni, he got attached so deeply. Now he died remembering the deer. Now because he died remembering the deer, what happened? He is born again as a deer. And interesting thing is born in the same region. So he is born as a deer, but because he has done the earlier sadhanas, and this was a temporary fall, he was blessed with the awareness that, array, I was a seeker earlier, I left everything and then I got attached to a fawn and now I got attached to this deer and now I am a deer. So many times it will happen. See, anyway, in general, our Vedantic understanding is that all this is an appearance of the divine, so we revere everything. Don't hurt, insult, or cause pain to any jiva. It is a vanity of human being to think that human being is the roof and crown of creation. We all are appearances of the divine. Each creature has its own uniqueness, speciality, beauty, glory. And human being must be able to accommodate and live with the attitude of love and compassion for all. That is the glory and dignity of human being, not kill. It's very sad, 8 billion people are there on this planet, let us say. But 80 billion animals are slaughtered for the taste of these 8 billion people. Obviously, in that, all are not vegetarian and all are not non-vegetarian. So 8 billion are not eating 80 billion animals. Even let us say half of them are eating. Actually, not half. Maximum 4% of the world is vegetarian. After all the so much of propaganda and veganism and this and that, 4% of the world is vegetarian. Rest is all non-vegetarian. 8 billion animals, 8 billion human beings consume 80 billion animals a year. Where is this compassion and all that? Anyway, the point to understand here is which jiva has come into which yoni, we don't know. In our Puranas, we see that, no? You know, the many examples. Now, Bhagavatam, it will come when we come to the 10th canto. Krishna Bhagavan, that Ulukha Bandhan Leela that he did, where that he was tied with a rope to the mortar, and then he drags it and he passes it through two trees, through a tree which is Arjun tree, which has branches like this, and he destroys that tree actually. That tree was two divine beings who were there. Gajendra Moksha, you will see in that crocodile was a divine being who got cursed and became the crocodile. So many examples come like that in the scriptures of how when a jiva falls, then from the human realm or a divine realm, one comes into adhogati, that is into animal realm or plant or a bird, it may come. Now the deer there is a seeker who is Bharat Muni. It may look like an ordinary deer, but it is not. And even an ordinary deer is divine manifestation only. The sadhak's bhav is that everything is divine here. So not to ill-treat any creature, any animal. Who has come in the form of a dog, we don't know. You know, in one place that happened, where yajna is going on, Gurudev's talk is going on, and there was a snake. That snake was lying on the side there, and it was facing that yajnashala. It has not come into the audience, nothing. It is lying there. But people who saw, some of them, the volunteers, etc., they got scared. So they were trying to push that snake out. From the stage, Gurudev said, we don't know which jiva has come in which form. It is not doing any harm. Leave it. So the point to understand is this, that Bharat Muni became that deer. But because he has done the sadhana in this earlier life, and he had just fallen from the path, so karma will bring karma phala. But the past janma, samskar and sadhana, that doesn't go waste. Just like his samskars of being a parent, being protective, they came up when he saw that fawn. Same way he has done so much more sadhana as a sadhak, as upasak, krita upasak. So that doesn't go for a waste. So in this janma, he remembers. See, generally the past life memory won't be there. With that, at the time of death, many things will get reorganized, and as per the yoni which one goes into, one will get appropriate equipments to manifest. So buddhi may become dormant if one is not getting the human body. The mind may be more active, and all that will happen in general situation. But here now, his purva janma samskar of so much sadhana he has done, so he remembers, this, why am I in this body now? One. Two, he remembers Bhagwan also. Now he continuously remembers Bhagwan in this janma as a deer. Two. Three, he has intense desire to drop this and get mukti. In this animal realm, only karma can be exhausted. And it is said that he does not even eat fresh grass, because on that there will be some more living beings. As a deer, he was eating only dry leaves which have fallen from the tree. So he lives like this. And then he goes, he leaves his mother, comes again to this ashram where he was as a muni, Bharat Muni. Lives there, eats that dry leaves which have fallen, etc., continuously remembering Bhagavan, and there his body drops. So that's where we see that in this 8th chapter in this 5th canto, he has dropped his body. Now, temporary fall it is, that karma he has exhausted, and he remembers, and now his intensity is that I need to get mukti, and he learned his lesson. He was on the path of mukti only, and even when he got distracted, it is not that he was not on the path of mukti, but that was a lesson to be learned. So even if, so this is not to justify a distraction, but even if we fall from the path, even if the mind gets attached, distracted somewhere, and then one gets bound, there is no other solution. One has to come out of it. That's all. The moment we recognize, oh, I've fallen now, one has to take steps to come out of that. There is no other solution there. So one should not feel that, array, what happened to me? How did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? As introspection one can do, but need not do that out of guilt, out of regret. One need not feel, array, so much of my time got wasted unnecessarily. It's a part of evolution. What else? So many lives we have done. And of course, as we come closer and closer, it becomes more challenging. In any field that will happen. To come from 60 to 80 marks is easy, but to go from 80 marks to 95, more difficult. To go from 95 to 98, much more difficult. It looks only 3 marks, but difficult. So as one purifies the mind, comes closer and closer and closer. Like this, some samskar will manifest, some attachment can happen, and again one may fall. But one is still moving. Even that fall, Gurudev used to say, every fall is a rise in the total. Again, I am saying this is not to justify any fall or any attachment, but if it has happened for whatever karmic reasons, there is no other solution. One has to just pick up and again move. Learn the lessons, make a strong resolve, move. That's all. There is no other time to waste. Otherwise, whole life goes again in regret, which is not going to move me anyway forward. It will only take me again more time. Because now I've done something wrong, that karmic consequence plus the guilt and regret, and then that much more self-condemnation, and I have to anyway come out of all that now. So he learnt his lesson. He came back to his ashram as a deer, lived there, and he was having repentance. That repentance is very important. Paschatap is important, and in human body you can even do prayaschitta. Here, as an animal, what did he do? So he again came back to this Shalagrama in the forest and Pulastya ashram. He came, Pulaha and Pulastya ashram, and he did not disclose his past to anybody. Just as a deer, he was there around that ashram. And finally, what happened? One very nice thing is written here in this 31st shloka, Atma Sahacharaha. Paramatma is the companion. He kept remembering Bhagwan, and he said Bhagwan is the only true companion, he is the true self, there is nothing else. He kept remembering Bhagwan, and he was waiting for the death. At a particular point in time, he took bath in that sacred river and he dropped the body, died. Now what happened? He is born in the family of what you call Brahmana. So this 9th chapter begins with that. So he is born in the Brahmana's family, who is from Angira Gotra. Now you see this. He was a Raja who renounced, then became a deer, now is born in the Brahmana family. Please remember, it is not that only Brahmanas can realize the truth. We have examples of all Varnas, people have realized the truth. But why is born a Brahmana family? Because the mind has that much of Sattva Guna. So the birth is as per the Guna. Chaturvanya Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, Bhagavan said in the Gita. As per the guna and karma, one will be born in a particular varna. So he has that lot of sattva guna and he is born into the Brahmana family. So now when he is born, so it is said here that he is born to a Brahmana in the Angira Gotra, and this Brahmana has great qualities. To such a noble Brahmana he is born. What are the qualities of that Brahmana? So self-control, austerity, Veda Adhyayan, satisfaction, renunciation, tolerance, gentleness, knowledge, no jealousy towards anybody, and he is very clear that real satisfaction comes only when we realize the truth. So he is a noble Brahmana who is not just Brahmana by birth, but by qualities is a Brahmana. That's what he means to say, that the Brahmana in whose house Bharat Muni was born was such a noble Brahmana. And he had 9 sons from his first wife, and then from his second wife he had 2 children. One is a girl and then other is a boy, and that boy is this Bharat Muni. Now, when this Brahmana, when this Bharat Muni is born in the house of this Brahmana, so even in this life he remembers his past, that how I got distracted and I fell, and then I went through the body of a deer and now I am born here. So there is naturally a certain sense of caution that I don't want to go through this again. And so it is said here that he feared obstruction to his progress. So pratighatam ashanka manaha. Pratighatam ashanka manaha. There is a fear of some obstacle like the past again coming back. And so he always thought of the Lord's lotus feet and chanted his glories. So karma bandha vidvamsana, they will destroy the karmic bondage. So here his sadhana, what he was doing earlier, temporarily he fell, then he continued his sadhana in the form of a deer, then again he continues now. This is before, now this is mentioned before any other samskara has been done, meaning even before this Brahmana starts teaching him or giving him some knowledge, he remembers his past and he continues to remember Bhagwan in his mind. But externally, how will he behave? He will behave very indifferent. So, because he doesn't want to get further attached, and then association will happen, then people will talk, and then there are possibilities. So, he remains indifferent. Again, please remember, this is not out of fear only. There is a caution that the seeker will and should have, because once one has fallen, then one knows, okay, there are these possibilities, so one should become alert. This is not fear, this is caution. And yet, and also knowing very well that these are some, he doesn't have any interest in any way developing any, achieving anything in the world. So why will one develop so many relationships? Where one is interested in turning introvert, one doesn't want to build contacts and relationship and networking and all that. Who wants to do? He wants to turn within. So he turned. So he is indifferent to the outside. Now see, imagine he has 9 brothers and 1 sister, but he does not continue to build relationship with all of them. So he will appear as a mad person. Like say Rishabh Dev Ji, he did, no? Same thing he also does here, Bharat Muni. He appears as a mad person, so like a blind person, deaf person, dumb person, he won't respond properly. His father, he is trying his best to educate the child. So he is very affectionate to him, and he thinks that this fellow is mad in some ways, not fit for grahasth ashram. So he did the samskars. So all that, this Nishkraman Samskar, Upanayana Samskar, Annaprashan, all that up to, so even Yajnapavit, even some study of the Veda, etc., that you will see, he will teach all this. But he did not do Grahasthashram Samskar, meaning he didn't get him married. That much the father had that clarity, he is not fit for Grahasthashram, why spoil somebody else's life? So he didn't get him married. So up to the end of Brahmacharya life, so Samavartan Samskar, after that is Vivaha. So till Samavartan he did, meaning he ensured that the child gets proper samskars. See, the samskar is only what makes us different from animals. And everything goes through samskar or not. It's very interesting. Today we don't do samskars. Hardly. And in the name of samskar, we do all kinds of things which are not really samskar. Samskar means refinement of the mind. Samskar means invoking something which is divine and divinizing the mind. Samskar means initiating the mind into a new vision of life. That is called samskar. Does anybody wear diamond which is directly taken from the ore? It has to be polished, it has to be refined properly, then one will wear it. Gold directly from the ore one takes and wears? No. It will be melted, it will be refined, it will get purified, it will come into whatever form, then this jeweler will make some ornaments out of it, then one wears or not. Sorry. Do you just eat raw food, just pluck it from the whatever, the fields? Pluck, eat. If somebody does that, one say, what a unrefined person is. One has to cook it and then serve it nicely and lay it out and then do some dressing and then present it beautifully and then there's a particular way to eat it. Everywhere samskar works. But when we come to spiritual samskars, people suddenly say, no, this is all ritual, I don't want to do. That is stupidity. How does the mind get refined? Just like we refine food, we refine ornament, this gold ore and everything. Even why do you get educated? Then that is also refinement only, no? People go to what is called finishing school. I had no idea there's something called finishing school. We never went to any finishing school. People go to finishing school and they learn how to use that fork and knife and this whatever, the napkin is there and then 7 course meal will come and how do you greet each other and so many things are taught in that. Why are people sending their children for all that? No, they should be refined in society and especially you move in the elite class, they should know how to move. All that is samskar only. That is much more grosser samskar. Here is subtler samskar to refine the mind completely and bring more and more daivi guna into the mind. Samskar has to be done. The people don't do any samskars. And they take pride in that. And they think that, okay, Janev samskar is a symbol of oppression and casteism and we will not do. All that is nonsense that people have fed into the minds of the Hindus. And we Hindus also fall for all that. What a samskar it is. Every step. Now people are doing baby shower, baby shower. Are what mantra to chant? What is the which devata is to be invoked? What is offering to be made? Who bothers about all that? And people are more bothered about what kind of a theme party we will have on baby shower and what kind of gift we will take and give to that mother and all that and to the child. And Hare Ram. The parent has to first focus on what is that samskar for the parent, for the child, what is the mantra, what is the bhavana, what are we doing. And it is not that knowledge is not available. It is available today with proper understanding, meaning every samskar, there is enough knowledge available today. Right from Garbhadhan, then Simanta Unnayanam, then Pumsavana, all that. So when one does these samskars, the mind will get refined. It will get spiritual samskars. And you just saw that what role samskars play. That parenting samskars that that Bharat Raja had, they came back to him. If these samskars are done, which are formal samskars, 16 samskars are minimum. Some places 40 are given, but traditionally 16 to are done minimum, from Garbhadhan to Antyeshti. All the 16 samskars should be done. They will help the jiva a lot. Not only at the body level. Please don't think samskar is for the body, it is for the mind. And it will help the evolution of the jiva. There is no question about it. And the jiva will be given, the power of the Veda mantra will help, the power of the devatas will help, the bhavana with which it is done, the other people's, their blessings will help. So many factors come into play when we do a samskar. And when it is done properly, it will also generate punya karma. There is nothing to lose by doing a samskar, and there is everything to lose by not doing a samskar. There is nothing very intelligent about it. We don't do any samskar nowadays. We don't believe in all this. Okay, deprive yourself. What else can be done? That's how the culture gets destroyed unnecessarily, unfortunately. So this Brahmana, he did all the samskars for the child. And he also knew which samskar not to do. Because he is not eligible for Grihastha ashram. So he said, no marriage, Vivah samskar will not be done. That's what it means. So it's not that because marriage has to be done, it has to be done now. This is parampara and parampara will get spoiled. Nothing. Please see the examples given in our scriptures. This father genuinely felt that this boy is not eligible. He can't handle Grihastha ashram. So he didn't get him married. So here he says, this son is, the samskar is done up to the brahmachari life. And now the son also, see, he doesn't want to get more connected and attached to the things outside. So some of the things he will resist also. So he says that son is unwilling, but still he instructed him in cleanliness, in this achamanam and all these external rites and rituals. Now please remember that Jada Bharat, now he is called Jada Bharat because he is indifferent to the world. So this Jada Bharat has done his upasana. Please remember he is a Krita Upasak. And all that he has done for many years. Now in this Janma, he doesn't even want to do external achamanam and worship of Bhagwan, etc. Nothing. He just is doing everything mentally. Now this is not an excuse saying, yeah, I must be a Krita Upasak of the earlier life. That's why I don't have that bhavana. How do we know? Is the mind continuously thinking of Bhagwan? Is the mind having enough vairagya? If the mind is disinterested in the worldly desires, if the mind is turned introvert already, then of course, then that's what Jada Bharat is going through. That is our state. If that is not happening, then it's only an excuse that the mind is giving. Better it do some puja, upasana outside, because external action is also creating samskar in the mind only. And it will ensure that the mind develops the right attitude, the right bhavana, the right practice. Externally, I keep doing something, it will keep on creating impressions. Then I will become ready for Manasa Puja. But if I am not doing externally continuously, then I try to do mentally, then mind starts wandering, and then neither I am doing externally nor I am doing in the mind, it just wanders. Then that is waste of time. Might as well do externally properly. So this is what he does. He is in a different state. So he doesn't want to learn, and so he will resist. And he'll act like a fool in front of his father. That's why the father said he's not fit for Grihastha ashram. Whatever the father will teach, he will do in reverse order. Now see the father's intent. Now he is so kind and loving. He still tries to teach the son. Even if the son is doing in reverse order, appears like a fool, he still tries to teach him the Gayatri mantra. But the son wantedly doesn't learn it. Otherwise, he is very capable of learning. He has done Surya Upasana in his earlier life, so already he knows Gayatri mantra and everything. But externally, he appears like a fool. He doesn't learn apparently. And the father tries to teach him what are the activities of a brahmachari. So maintain cleanliness, do the Vedic study, adhyayan, vrata, niyama, follow rules, service to the guru, do the yajnas, all that he tries to teach. But this Bharat, Jada Bharat, he doesn't learn. Now this father also, now remember Bharat Raja, this Jada Bharat is his 11th child. Now the father also grown old at some point now. He dies. Kala will play its, Kala will, in course of time, the father dies. And so, what did his younger wife do, the second wife to whom this Jada Bharat and the sister were born? That younger wife also, she couldn't deal with it. The husband has died, she also died. Now both the parents are dead. Now the stepmother is there and step brothers are there and the sister is there. So what happens next? That we'll take up in our next satsang.
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की, मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की, मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की, मंगल आरती। मंगल बणिक त्रिभंगी हरि की, मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की, मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की, मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी, मंगल आरती। पभी अंग अंग की, मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की, मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की, मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की, मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की, मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी, मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया भावन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की, मंगल आरती। मंगल आरती। राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम्, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Neelamji, you have something to ask?
Yes, Swamiji, so you said that Vairagya and remembrance of God, do they go hand in hand?
Yes. The more
What?
Vairagya I have, the more single pointed will be my remembrance of Bhagwan.
But
And
the,
my
but
mind will not get distracted.
that's true. But one does not have to have 100% Vairagya to remember the Lord, right? Slowly, slowly, as your Vairagya goes down, then the remembrance increases, correct?
Not Vairagya goes down, Vairagya goes up.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, Vairagya goes up, then your remembrance.
Correct. That's how it will
Correct?
happen. We don't have to
Yeah,
wait 100% Vairagya. We keep
yeah,
remembering Bhagwan.
exactly,
It will develop
exactly,
Vairagya. More Vairagya comes, more
exactly.
development of Bhakti. That will go together.
Intensity will increase then. Correct. Okay, thank you.
Hari Om.